standard narrative, that the standard narrative
You'll finish.
has holes. Has holes.
Oh boy, I'm so happy to hear a standard narrative have holes. Peace of Christ to all of you. I hope you enjoyed this clip. You know, actually, I'm thinking why we call him even Yasir Qadi. Why we don't call him from now on Mr. Holes in the narratives. If you search for the word hole in the narrative in YouTube, what you will find? Unbelievable. I mean, it's all over. People are laughing to death. And not only that, Mr. Hole in the narrative, the puppy of Mr. Hole in the narrative, Yasir Qadi, Mimi Hijab, who was following Yasir Qadi like a puppy wherever he go. So what do you think, Sheikh? Sheikh, what should do, Sheikh? He was a sheikh until he shaked them. And then you will see Mimi making a video says the hole is in the Quran preservation narrative exposed. This is the guy remind me. He wanted to expose me. You know, so he claimed that he can debate me, and then we called him, and then he played my voice saying to our Muslim women, suckle me. And he make a video called Christian sexual predator. So now they are trying to frame. You see, this is what the Muslims do. I'm talking about those who they work as a business in YouTube. This guy now, he is their enemy, and I feel sorry for him. But this is what they do. And Yasir Qadi is trying to frame David Wood, saying he is a person who speaks bad language, he is a bad person. And this is exactly what they do to everybody who speaks against Islam. If you remember this video here, a Muslim woman, she called me, and she started speaking dirty about Jesus. The filthy Mimi Hijab, he cut the video, and he play. When I called him to debate him, we called to debate, but because he is too much intimidated to do so, he knew he's no match. The same as Yasir Qadi, the hole in the narrative. So what he did, he play little tiny part of the video, like 15 seconds. But the video was not me saying to her, suckle me. It was his sister saying the following. You are a pagan? Did you kiss a stone or not? Do you kiss a stone? Who created the black stone? Who created the black stone? Who created the black stone?
Jesus?
Jesus? No, Jesus don't create stones. He created the whole world. But you Muslims kiss kiss his stones, right? Why your prophet kissed the black stone?
Did he kiss the black stone?
Jesus kissed nothing. Your prophet did. Why your prophet kisses stones?
Okay, Jesus do more actually. Worse actually. He play with his mother boobs. Tell me why he's doing that.
He play with his mother what? Boobs? You must be okay. You see how savage they are. Look what she said.
Oh no!
Look what she said. Look what she said.
Like you.
Okay, show me. Okay, show me a verse. Show me a verse.
Really?
Show me a verse saying that Jesus he played with his mother. Show me a verse. Show me a verse saying that Jesus he played. Listen. You are obviously a trashy person. You just insulted Jesus for no reason. You say Jesus he played with his mother boobs, right? Okay, listen. You are a liar. Number one. Number two. It's your prophet who order women to give their boobs to strangers. Is that true or not?
No, it's not.
Can I suckle you? Okay, let us read the hadith then. Can I? This is the part they cut from the whole video. Do you see how trashy they are? They cannot debate us. They cannot refute us. So they try to frame us. And they make a video saying, and Mimi Hijab, he opened his mouth like, wow. And he have Fifi next to him. Whoa. Did you hear what he say? Is that how Christian people talk? And now, this potato, Yasir Qadi, is trying to do the same with David Wood. If we go to the video, Let me open it. Actually, I did not open it yet here. Let me make it ready. You will see the whole purpose of this video is to make, first of all, to run away from answering what he did. It is him who did this. It is him and Mimi Hijab who did this. They are partners in the poo-poo cake. He cannot refute David.
What?
So what we will do? How we can refute him? Listen carefully and laugh with me. I'm sure many of you saw the video already.
Can I say about Sheikh Yasir Qadi's illustrious career that hasn't already been said about the Hindenburg?
And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say. The standard narrative does not answer some very pressing questions.
Sheikh Yasir Qadi and Mohammed Hijab are in a race to see who can destroy Islam the fastest, and they're both winning. Dr. Qadi, the Usain Bolt of wrecking the Quran, just decided to celebrate Christmas on Thanksgiving by giving us another 27 ways to refute his religion. His Christmas on Thanksgiving Day gift is titled Library Chats Number 10, responding to Jay Smith and David Wood on the holes in the narrative controversy. There are some typos here. It should say Library Tantrums Number 10, whining about Jay Smith and David Wood in this holes in the narrative conniption. The ever-boastful Dr. Qadi declares that he lays the smackdown on Islamophobes and Christian missionaries, and he invites viewers to like, comment, and share, although it's hard to comment since he already blocked comments.
Now, if you watch the video, you will see he never answered anything. He is just slandering people, and yet he speaks about mouth, which is bad mouth. They cannot refute you, so they try to frame you. They call you all kind of names they can. So what Yasir Qadi, how Yasir Qadi, he refuted? I mean, I don't know, he is refuting who? I mean, it's you who said hole in the narrative. It's not this guy. This guy, he heard you. David, he just heard you. And, you know, the problem, they are going crazy because now every Christian is saying to them, wherever they go, there is a hole in the narrative. Actually, I think Yasir Qadi will not be remembered by his name anymore. Time will come and, you know, I mean, he's not an important person, but let us say for the sake of argument, I mean, YouTube became like a history book. People will not remember the name of Yasir Qadi. They will remember there is a hole in the narrative. Like, oh, the guy who said there is a hole in the narrative. Like, do you remember Dr. Yasir Qadi? No, not, the name doesn't ring a bell for you? Not really, I don't remember. Okay. What about there is a hole in the narrative? Oh yeah, I remember, yeah. Just type hole in the narrative in YouTube and you will see endless numbers of videos made by Muhammad, and everybody want to refute the hole in the narrative, brother. All of them. I mean, non-stop. There is holes in the narrative. Even there is art about hole in the narrative now. Look at those Abdul. They are fighting. They are like, what this guy he did? I cannot believe it. And then even Fifi, you know, Fifi, the puppy, you know, there is hole in the narrative. We are going to refute him. Respond to Yasir Qadi. There is a hole, the standard. You know, the funny, this guy, he was their master for the last 10 years, 15 years, and they were his puppy walking around him. Go watch Mimi Hijab walking in the car with Yasir Qadi. He's asking a question. What do you think the Muslims should do in America? What do you think we Muslims should do in UK? What do you think about this sheikh? He called him always sheikh. Suddenly the sheikh is not a sheikh no more. The sheikh is a banana. And look at this guy, he thinking how he refute him. Have holes. You know, my friend, all of you have holes. Actually, your prophet used to leak, and we can show you the reference. He's a leaky prophet. And actually, Fifi, he is the one who leaked the email of Yasir Qadi. This is why you cannot trust those people. You know, you see the Quran says, chapter 5, verse 51, take not Christians and Jews as friends. Well, nobody can take you as a friend anyway, because you Muslims, you all will betray each other. Who is the one who killed the caliphate? Muslims. Who is the one who killed the grandsons of Muhammad? Muslims. Who is the one who took army to kill Ali? Aisha. I mean, this is who you are. This is who you are. You have history of betrayal, the same, the followers the same as the Prophet. Now, if we go back to the video about Yasir Qadi, who is supposedly refuting David Wood, how he refuted him? Did he say anything? Did he answer anything? Listen carefully.
Now, it is Thanksgiving, and as thankful as I am for Dr. Qadi's generous gift, earlier today I deep-fried 2 turkeys, which my wife had injected with Creole spices. I ate half of one immediately, but I want to eat another half, so I'm just going to present one refutation in this video. But I'll have plenty of other refutations in the coming weeks, starting tomorrow. Today's refutation, in short, is that Dr. Qadi has declared that we can completely dismiss his prophet and his religion due to the disgusting behavior of his prophet. We can simply look at Muhammad and proclaim, without ever examining the arguments of Muslim apologists, that this man cannot be a prophet of God. How did Dr. Qadi relegate his prophet to the trash heap of history? Let's find out. In his response to my claims, Dr. Qadi makes no attempt to actually refute anything I've ever said. Instead, he presents one long ad hominem.
As for David Wood, I could not even bear an hour of his lectures. Forget about being an academic. I mean, obviously, it's very clear to anybody.
Hold on, Mr. Academic. You see, I wish you can be academic for 1 second and tell us why you cannot even speak about anything without having a computer in front of you, and you are reading from the computer the information you are giving to your students. How much academic you are. But because simply you are a Google academic. You are a fraud. You are not academic. And you know, look, we expect someone who claimed to be having all those books in the back, that he did read those books. And he knew what in those books. But the second you ask him a question, you will find that he is going to read from the computer what is posted in the internet, and 90% of it is false. But today we are not going to show you, I mean, how many things he said that are false, but let us focus on the one he claimed it's true. It is about David Wood. He found something about him. He discovered something. Yep. Start from the beginning.
He presents one long ad hominem.
As for David Wood, I could not even bear an hour of his lectures. Forget about being an academic. I mean, obviously, it's very clear to anybody that he does not have an iota of knowledge of Arabic, of the script of the Arabic.
See? See? They don't know Arabic. That's why he don't dare even to mention my name. This is why they don't dare to debate me. Because in order to escape the problem, oh, you don't know Arabic. You don't know the science of Quran. You don't know the science of the Hadith. You do not know the science of Ahraf. Ahraf Nab is a science. You don't know Arabic, do you? Well, I heard your Arabic, really. I mean, you read Quran, fine. But I don't think you can speak to me in Arabic. You know, I wish one day, Dr. Yasir Qadi, me and you, we have conversation in Arabic. I'm not going to give you text to read. I want to see how you can speak Arabic. I want to see how good you are. And as long as you are saying the one who do not know Arabic, he have no right to discuss. So are you saying to me, all the Muslims have the right to remain silent? And as long only those who speak Arabic, they understand Islam, that's mean 90, maybe 95% of Muslims, do not understand Islam. And as long, in order to understand Islam, not only you have to know Arabic, but you have to be academic. I want people to be listening carefully and focus on what he said. You do not know Arabic, you don't have a degree. I have a degree in Islamic academic, but my degree have nothing to do with my knowledge. Actually, in Islamic, when you study in Islamic university, they teach you nothing. Muhammad is the best, forget about the rest, and all the garbage. You learn nothing in university. And this guy who got his PhD from Canada, how in the world you get a PhD from Canada that make you academic in Islam? The guy who gave you PhD himself, he do not know anything about Islam. Have you ever heard of people who get PhD from someone who do not know anything about Islam? Shouldn't you get a degree from somebody is higher in knowledge? So a Canadian guy, he gave you PhD in Islam? And what's your PhD is about? So all those excuses will make him even look more fool, because in 2 seconds we will see, we will die laughing at what he said. Listen carefully.
I mean, obviously, it's very clear to anybody that he does not have an iota of knowledge of Arabic, of the script of the Arabic, of qira'at, of ahruf, of ulum al-Quran. Forget all of that.
But hold on. Isn't it you is the one who have the knowledge? Isn't it you, because you have a knowledge, you come to us with this beautiful song? Forget about David Wood. He do not know. He do not know Arabic. You are right. I mean, this guy, I don't know Arabic. You know nothing. You know. It is you who said there is a hole in the narrative, you idiot. It's not David Wood.
That the standard narrative has holes. It has holes. That the standard narrative.
Stop. So he do not know, and you are the one who knows. And you, the one who knows, you just said that the standard narrative have holes. David do not know about the ahruf, which means, ahruf is stupid. Ahruf means letter, by the way. What does that mean, ahruf? This is the most, even the word they use is silly. Have you ever heard that there's a book come in letters? What letters? This is nothing is called letters. All books is coming in letters. But because they are ashamed of the stupidity of their prophet, who is saying it clearly that, Allah, he sent me those things in different way because he cannot recite the same verse twice. In the same way. If we go to the hadith, and we will go back to the hole in the narrative, Mr. Holes. If we go in the hadith, you will find right away how hilarious Muhammad is. Let us see this one. Yeah, Mr. Hole in the narrative. Do you need really a PhD to understand this? A Muslim guy, he said, I had no confusion in my mind from the time I embraced Islam, except when I recited a verse and another man recited a differently. And actually this person, he himself, Mr. Hole in the narrative, he quote his name if you go and watch the video. And he said this is the most, like one of the most decent Muslims and the most important blah 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 blah. And he is the best of reciter for the Quran. But the best reciter for the Quran saying I have a confusion. What is the confusion? He recite the Quran, another man recite the Quran, but it's different Quran. So he asked him why you are reciting it this way. He said the messenger of Allah taught me this too. So I went to the Prophet and I said, oh Prophet of Allah, didn't you teach me the verse like this? And he recited the verse for him, or the verses. Muhammad, he said yes. The other guy, he said to him, oh Prophet of Allah, didn't you teach me the verse like this? He said yes. Then Muhammad, he said the following. Yes, then he continued saying, Jibreel and Mikael, those are two angels. They came to me and Jibril sat on my right and Mikael on my left. Jibril, peace be upon him, said, recite the Quran with one way of recitation. Mikael, he said, teach him more, teach him more. And then he keeps saying that to him until Jibril, he gave him 7 Quran. Now this is me, the PhD. Do you understand? You go to different hadith, you will see the one who is asking Allah is Muhammad. He asked Jibreel to go back to Allah. The story is different because Muhammad is a liar. He cannot, and remember, this is authentic. And the other one is authentic. Which one is authentic now? One saying that Mikael is the one who was asking for more Quran. The other one saying no, Muhammad was asking for more Quran to Jibreel, and Jibreel go back to Allah, and Allah gave him more Quran. But forget about all of this. If you are the one who said that there is a hole in the narrative, why you are complaining about David Wood saying what you said, you idiot? He is just saying what you said. He is not the one is saying there's a hole in the narrative. It's you. So in order to see how valid is your comment, or you to say your answer, what kind of intelligence you have? That you are the one who said that, and then you claim that the one who is talking, that you said that, he have no knowledge. I mean, have you ever heard of a stupid statement more than this? You are complaining about what exactly? It is you who said that. So you are complaining about what? Oh boy. Look at this guy. This guy, I think this guy, he come once to my chat room. I forgot his name. I think his name, I don't know. I remember he came, and you know, there is a conversation. I don't know if it's him. Maybe it was a long time ago. This potato is crying. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it that he said that. I cannot believe it. How in the world you say that? You cannot do that to us. I converted to Islam because the Quran is preserved.
Clarity Crew.
Because the Quran is preserved? Are you sure that the Quran is really preserved? Who said so? Mr. Hole in the narrative?
Like, I'm speechless. I mean, not only did that happen, but both Mohammed Hijab and Yasir Qadi consciously, after the fact, posted it and advertised it. It wasn't...
You stupid, how you post it? We should hide it. What's wrong with you? You put the underwear of the Prophet on the front line in the yard between us and the Christian yard? And look how hypocrite they are. Hey, hold on, they corrected, don't worry. They deleted it right away, don't you know? And you know, I mean, this is really stupid conversation. I'm just having fun. But isn't it the Quran says that Allah, He kills you, forget the Quran? Isn't it Allah in the Quran, He says He make you lose Quran? I mean, who is the stupid here? Who is the stupid here? And look at them. The guy, he told them the truth. All of them, they spit on him. You have to be a liar, so they will like you. And Muhammad Hijab now, they are blaming him. Stupid. You advertise for this, you stupid idiot. How you do that? Do you know how dangerous what you did? Do you know how many people are losing their faith now? We thought Islam is different. We thought Quran is preserved. I mean, I don't want the Quran to be preserved. I want to find back the breastfeeding for adult, the one I was asking the women about, suckle me. Can you get me back? As long as the Quran is not lost. Who is the Muslim when I give me the verses about 10 times adult feeding breast? 10 times, not 9 times.
Your language about his usul being messed up. We've just seen him progress and just expose himself, but then he goes on to Muhammad Hijab's platform and starts giving the preservation of the Quran question. Like, I'm speechless. I mean, not only did that happen, but both Muhammad Hijab and Yasir Qadi consciously, after the fact, posted it and advertised it. It wasn't like it was a slip of the tongue on
Commercial break. If you are a person who have a hole in the narrative and you are looking for a glue to close it, call right now 1-800 Yasir Qadi. If that glue did not work, there is something Mimi Hijab he sell each time he go in his car. It is good for your hair, good for your eyes if they are burning you. Especially now, there's many people are crying because they found that there is a hole in the narrative. And now they are trying to close those holes with all kind of cement, glue, but it's not like nothing is working. The leak became bigger and bigger and bigger. They advertise for it. So instead of answering and be truthful with yourself, Mr. Hole in the narrative, you make a slander video, slandering people, calling them names, and by doing that, by the way, you expose your prophet, because now look what David will say to you. I mean, take it. Oh, here we go. You said he's a bad person because he have a bad language. What bad language? I never curse. David never curse. We read what is in the hadith. You see, this is what they do. I did ask the women that her prophet, he asked a woman to give her boobs to be suckled, an adult man. The second you quote what they have, they call you sexual predator, which means they are admitting that their prophet himself is a sexual predator. If you quote what their prophet says, you have a foul mouth. If you quote what their Quran says, you have a dirty tongue. If you read what their book's saying, you are filthy, disgusting. This is what Yasir Qadi is saying.
Dr. Qadi is correct in that I'm not an academic in the area of Islamic studies. I do have a PhD and 2 master's degrees in philosophy, which Dr. Qadi would say is irrelevant because he believes that the only people who can even discuss the preservation of the Quran are academics in the field of Islamic studies. But I would argue that philosophy is a perfect background for these discussions because at the end of the day, philosophers specialize in examining arguments.
David, I have, as long as you are a philosopher, I have a question for you. What is the philosophy behind a prophet promising his followers endless penis? Do you think this have to do, as long as you are a person of philosophy and logic, do you think this is like like he was telling us about the future, that internet cable will be used between galaxies? Like the Muslim have an endless penis, because soon we will see how actually already he did. He said he have a bad mouth. He said David would have a bad mouth. I mean, look who's talking about bad mouth. A guy who follows someone who speak all kind of filthy words. A person, even his promises is disgusting and they are stupid. Endless penis. So your wife, she is next to you and your penis in China. And then you receive a call from Ching Chong. You need a translator. Oh, you can use Google. Here we're going to give you a ticket for your penis because you park it in the wrong spot. What is that? So when they speak about language, look who is talking. And now who care about who have a PhD, who don't? It is you who said, there's a hole in the narrative. What does guy have to do with this?
Someone presents an argument and the philosopher examines the argument to see whether the conclusion actually follows. Why do I discuss the preservation of the Quran? Well, it's because countless Muslims over the past 2 decades have approached me and said, the Quran has been perfectly and miraculously preserved, right down to the letter. It's a miracle. So the Quran must be the word of God.
True. Isn't it Uthman, he burned the Quran to preserve it? I mean, have you ever heard of a religion? They burned Quran to preserve the Quran. He burned the other Quran because they are different. How this is going to be preservation? I mean, look how stupid this religion is. From the beginning of Muhammad's life, the guy, he just died. And then Uthman, he found that the Quran is lost. And now there's many Quran. And Uthman, he decided to make one Quran. In order to accomplish that, we have to burn all other Quran. So how that can be preservation? Because obviously they are not matched. Otherwise, we will not burn them. What is going to hurt if we keep those Quran? We burn them only. They are not the same. Every Quran is different from the other Quran. And now, even after every Quran is different from the other Quran, and we burn the other Quran, even now we have a problem. It's called the hole in the narrative. Muhammad, he gave us 7 Quran, we cannot find them.
That's an argument. According to Dr. Qadi, when that argument is presented to me, I must remain silent. I can't critique the argument in any way, or I'm overstepping my bounds. If you think I'm exaggerating here, just watch his video. He insists that only academics are allowed to criticize the claim that the Quran has been perfectly preserved. Why do Muslim scholars want us to stay away from this issue when Muslim apologists and preachers have made it the center of their dawah? Because as soon as we start examining this argument, it falls apart. The argument from perfect preservation is so incredibly stupid that if philosophy professors weren't concerned about being labeled Islamophobes, they would use this argument as a paradigm example of a stupid argument. But again, Dr. Qadi doesn't want to respond to any of my actual claims. He simply wants to dismiss them. Carry on, Dr. Qadi.
The fact of the matter is that I simply could not listen to him, because if you haven't, then please don't. How does one put this? I mean, I have rarely come across somebody who is more vulgar, vile, foul-mouthed, noxious, repugnant, depraved.
It's like it's like a dog. You let him out of the leash. I mean, this guy, he have a lot of anger. He cannot put it in Mimi. He cannot put it in Fifi, because he's a coward. So he want to put it in the Christian guy. The one who is exposing you, you idiot, the one who is making fun of you, you idiot, is the Muslims. The one who is spitting at you is the Muslims. But you could not refute, and you could not fix the damage which you did, and Mimi did, and Fifi did. So what do? You slander the one you can slander. But you don't dare to go and slander Mimi Hijab, or Fifi, the one who leaked your email and he get you busted. Very trustworthy person. What does this guy have to do with this? And as long as you are talking about vulgar language and bad language, let us see some languages. I'd like you to teach me manner. The Prophet said, there is no one of you whom Allah admit to paradise, but Allah will marry him to 70. By the way, marry him, huh? Marry him. Take the word marry. Marry him to women he don't know? Okay. To 72 wives, this is good manner. 72 wives. Sex group. 2 from the Houris and 70 from the inheritance of the people of hell. Here, there's a guy, he made a video, I forgot his name. I think it was her name, Sisi or Fufu, Zuzu, I don't know. And I said in this hadith, it says here that all those women whom they have a desirable front, passages. And I said, well, this is about their vagina and this is about their breast. The guy, he said, doesn't say that, CP. Okay, what is desirable front passages then? They are people of hell, they are bad. They are coming from hell. Imported from hell for what purpose? For sex. I mean, do you see the good manner? Even Allah will import prostitute hookers. This is why they are imported, because they are good looking and they are expert. And they have desirable front passages. And you know, when a Muslim, he speak about good manner and bad language, as long as we are talking about desirable front passages, what about your God is speaking about desirable boobs in the Quran? Is that the language of God? I remember that he was speaking about the Song of Song, and then he found the name of Muhammad in the Song of Song, and suddenly the Song of Song became holy. But the Song of Song is a song of a man. He's a king, and he described things as he wish. This is not God talking. But when God, he speak to us about what he will give us in heaven, and what he described for us is their breast, what we will say to such a God? Imagine if David or anyone, he make a video asking you to invite, let's say David, he is not a Christian, he is from a religion, it's called Big Boobs. And he said to you, if you believe in me as a prophet, my God will give you women with big boobs. That is not a bad language. What is the connection between believing in Allah and the big boobs of those women? I want to know. If there's a connection, obviously there's a connection. Your God is a sexual God. When a Muslim, he speak about bad language, how bad language can go. This is Al-Imam Al-Nawawi. It is a hadith from the Prophet of Allah. Who he speak about sexual intercourse, he did. I said, this is a sexual intercourse with animals. Muhammad, he did. The Muslim, they say, no, you are lying. I said, let us read the commentary of the hadith. Shall we? This is the interpretation of the hadith by their biggest scholar, not like this guy who call himself Sheikh from Pakistan, who do not know anything about Islam. He's just a Google guy. If we read the interpretation, read carefully. This is not Christian Prince, this is not David Wood, this is not the whole of the narrative. This is as it is. The meaning of the hadith, that is necessity, that the necessity to wash what? Your private part, your penis, excuse my language. If you don't like, by the way, to hear this, just leave. Before we start reading, this is dirty, this is disgusting, just leave. If there's kids around you, get out. It's of the necessity to wash is not limited to when a semen is ejaculated. Rather it when it is when the penile head hashf, you know, the word in Arabic is hashf, the head of the male penis, i.e. the head of the penis, penetrate the vagina. This is in their book. And then they continue. Then it's necessity for the women, for the man and the women to wash. There's no disagreement on this today. Even though there was disagreement on this by some of the early companions and other later. However, an agreement was later reached, and this is what we have shown and presented previously. Now he continue. Read carefully, please. Read carefully the holy language of Islam, the holy books of Muhammad. Our companion have said that if the penile head has penetrated a woman anus, or a man anus, or an animal or animal's vagina, or it is anus. What? A woman anus, a man anus, animal vagina, or it is anus. Then it is necessity to wash, whether the one being penetrated is alive or dead. Necrophilia religion. That's why Muhammad himself, he slept with the woman, her name Fatima bint Asad, in her grave. Young or adult. You can read the rest. You can find this translation in Answering Islam website. This is the good language, and you're talking about foul language. We can show you endless numbers of filthy language. All your religion is filthy. You know, this guy actually, if you go to YouTube and type the word sex and Yasir Qadi, you will find that Yasir Qadi is expert. He have many programs about sex. In one of them, he speak about oral sex, and he say it is bad. This is not from good people. This is disgusting. This is even the Chinese, the East, you know, they consider this will not be done between a wife and a husband. This is between like a hooker and a man. But then we find Muhammad is saying that a woman, she have to taste her husband honey. And the Muslim, they translate the word honey as a sweetness. If I go right now and open the dictionary, what I will find? What is the meaning of asila? You will not believe it. Asila mean sperm. Until she tastes his sperm. This is a prophet of God speaking about religion, saying to a woman she want to go back to her previous husband. The Quran says you cannot have back your previous husband unless you take off your panty, have sex with this guy, and not only that, you have to taste your juice. The Muslim, they say taste your juice here mean intercourse. What intercourse have to do with tasting the juice? Until he tastes your honey and you taste his honey. This is your translation. Let me open the dictionary so people, they can see. We are not picking things up. This is what the dictionary is saying. Let me find the dictionary first. The Muslim dictionary, we will not use our own. Because, you know, if you use your own, they will say is lying. Right? Anything you say, they will say you are lying. Let me open it. I will copy the word in the front of you. I will put it in the dictionary, and you tell me what kind of a prophet and what kind of language and what kind of religion make rule that a man, a woman, she cannot go back to her husband unless she sleep with a new guy. And this is in the Quran, by the way, not only in the Hadith. All right, we found the dictionary, but it's taking time to open. Let us see. I will put it for you on the screen. And my computer is getting slower. Give me a second. It's taking a lot of time to load. All right, here we go. We have the dictionary. We will put the word there in the front of your eyes. Asila. Anyone who speaks Arabic, including Yasir Qadi, supposedly he knew Arabic, he can get me busted if he dare. This is asila. What asila? Here it's coming as honey, as you see. You see asila? But this is here the sharia, qanuniya, al-asila, orgasm. Do you see it? Orgasm. Until you taste his orgasm and he tastes your orgasm. A woman, she cannot go back to her husband until she tastes the orgasm of a new man, not the same husband. How filthy, how bad the language, how bad the rules, how bad this God to make such a rule. The woman, she is divorced, she have no guilt. The idiot, her husband, because Muhammad, he made divorce so easy. So men, they divorce as they wish. So if the Muslim, they say, oh, this is to stop the divorce from happening, well, it's not stopping. Here we go, as you see. The guy is still divorced her 3 times, and now she have to have sex with a new guy. If you want to punish the man. What about you say to the man, you go sleep with a different guy? Not the women. This is chapter 2, verse number 230. So because their prophet is a very bad person who speak a very bad language, when you quote what their prophet said, the Muslims accuse you to be a bad person. And actually what he is saying makes sense. The second you start talking about Jesus, nobody will accuse you of speaking bad language. The second you start quoting what their God is saying, what their prophet is saying, you are going to start using the word penis, vagina, etc. You have to. Because this is what it is.
The argument from perfect preservation is so incredibly stupid that if philosophy professors weren't concerned about being labeled Islamophobes, they would use this.
I don't know, for a second, when I showed you the word orgasm in the screen, was the screen on? I'm not sure. Let me see. Here we go. This is the word. Again, for those who did not see it, this is the dictionary, and this is the word al-asila. This is what Muhammad, he said to the women. You have to taste his asila, and he have to taste your asila. What the meaning? Orgasm. As simple as that. A prophet of God speaking like this. I mean, there's many ways to say the word. Let us say enter you. Let us say you practice the marriage. You have a full marriage. Sleep with him. I mean, there's many words you can, but taste his juice, and he tastes your juice. This is a prophet of God.
This argument as a paradigm example of a stupid argument. But again, Dr. Qadi doesn't want to respond to any of my actual claims. He simply wants to dismiss them. Carry on, Dr. Qadi.
The fact of the matter is that I simply could not listen to him, because if you haven't, then please don't. How does one put this? I mean, I have rarely come across somebody who is more vulgar, vile, foul-mouthed, noxious, repugnant, depraved excuse of a preacher.
I'm starting to think that Dr. Qadi really doesn't like me.
No way. You're wrong, my friend.
Whatever he is, David Wood, it is obvious to any person of faith, is not a man of God.
I'm vulgar, so I'm not a man of God. But notice, if I married a prepubescent girl, took the wife of my own adopted son, bought, owned, sold, and traded black African slaves, had sex with my slave girls, and allowed my followers to beat their wives into submission, rape their female captives, and hire prostitutes, I'd be the greatest man of God who ever lived. Welcome to the perfectly functioning moral compass of Sheikh Yasir Qadi.
Nobody who has an iota of humility in front of his creator, nobody who wishes to claim to follow any prophet of God would ever be so vulgar as this particular individual.
Wait. I just remember something. Hold on, David. A challenge in the front of all the Muslims for this guy who speak about manner and languages to read this hadith live on air and translate as it is, not as we see in the English text. In the English text here it says this is Sahih Bukhari. They cannot say it's weak. It says, did you have sexual intercourse with her? Where it says did you have, where it says that? Where in Arabic it says, did you have sexual intercourse with her? Where? Do you know, guys, what he said? This is the word in Arabic. Aniktuha. Go right now and say the word I said to any Muslim and see what will happen. Just try it. This is the street language. This is not intercourse. This is the F word, you hear it in the street, literally. Did you F her? This is what Muhammad, and this is how he speak. And yet this guy, he claimed that you are bad. For what? Did he say, did you F her? A guy coming to me is speaking about that he did adultery. The Prophet, he said to him, and I say the Prophet as the Muslim, they call him the Prophet of sex. Did you, maybe you did kiss her? Maybe you did, you know, touch her? Did you F her? F her? I mean, from all the words in the Arabic language, he could not find better word. And because they are cowards and they are liars, they are ashamed of their prophet language, they change the translation. They say, did you have sexual intercourse with her? You might say it means the same. No, it doesn't mean the same. This is a straight language. And this is a prophet of God. But this is the agenda of those Muhammadan. They cannot refute you. We are going to slander you. We will make lies about you. If you remember, Mimi, he posted a picture of David and his wife, she is between him and someone else, maybe her brother, I'm not sure. And he said, look, she is sitting between two men. See how filthy they are? Those who defend, those who claim they are religious. I'm talking about the religious Muslim, not all Muslims. There's many Muslims are not the same as this garbage. Those are the trash. Sadly, we are dealing with the trash of Islam, not with normal people. I met many Muslims. They are not like this. But those are the trash of Islam. Everywhere there's trash. And Yasir Qadi, I thought for a second he is a professional person. But the more I hear him, the more I notice that he is just the same as the trash. You know, tell me your friends, I will tell you who you are. Who is the friend of Yasir Qadi? Why someone like Yasir Qadi want to walk with a kid like Mimi? You tell me. What is in common between them? Garbage in, garbage out.
Now, what does he mean when he says I'm vulgar? I've posted well over 1,000 videos, and many of you have been watching me for years. What sort of vulgar language do I use?
Yeah, what you did.
I don't curse, so what's he talking about? What Dr. Qadi means is that when I'm telling people about the disgusting things that his fake prophet did, I don't sugarcoat the issues. When the Muslim sources say that Muhammad walked around covered in semen, I say that he walked around covered in semen. When the Muslim sources say that Muhammad sucked on the tongues of little boys, I say that he sucked on the tongues of little boys. And I will not hesitate to
hold on. At that moment, Muhammad, he was a bird. Hello?
say what a sick freak Muhammad was, according to Islam's most trusted sources. That's too vulgar for Dr. Qadi. But Dr. Qadi made one of his famous Qadi blunders. He made a rule. Recall what he said.
Nobody who has an iota of humility in front of his creator, nobody who wishes to claim to follow any prophet of God would ever be so vulgar as this particular individual.
Oh, hold on. Just remind me of something. I will find it. Let David Wood hear it. I mean, say what he going to say. Let me find this book. I just remember the book, which, I mean, this guy, he's saying nobody will say that. I mean, you are a Muslim. And supposedly you claim that all those books behind you, you know them. I want to ask you, did you have the book of As-Suyuti? I think it's there. Is that the one? Is that the collection of As-Suyuti? Let me see. It's the same color. Huh? Is that the same one? But not all the collection. Is that the one? Or I'm not sure. It looked like it. If I open right now the book of As-Suyuti, and as long you are the one who speaks, nobody have the iota. Iota, I don't know what iota mean. What iota mean? You guys tell me later. Iota? Do you have iota yourself? Say again what you said, please.
Said.
Nobody who has an iota of humility in front of his creator, nobody who wishes to claim to follow any prophet of God would ever be so vulgar as this particular individual.
Oh, hold on. I like that. And I found the book. Or let us say, some quotation from the book. This is the book. The name of the book is نوادر الأيك في معرفة I cannot even say the word. To know how to F. I mean, can you believe it? Even the name of the book. This is one of their highest scholars in Islam. His name, Al-Imam Al-Hafiz Jalaluddin Abdul Rahman ibn Abi Bakr al-Suyuti. If I read for you guys, you will vomit. Did you remember what this guy, he said, nobody have the iota? The guy saying, praise be to Allah, the one who made the breast of the women, sorry, the young women, oh sorry, he decorated the chest of the women by breast. The one who made the hips of the women, sorry, the butt of the women, the one who made that like a belt for the waist of the man, and the one who made the I don't know how to translate those languages. I mean, I don't usually use them. Like, you know, the side of the butt, one side, you know. So he says, and the one who made the side of the butt, or like one butt on the, like, they are two part, right? So he made them like, you know, like waves, you know, like lahoshen, like deer, and he made their asses like an arrow for the penis, or let us say he make them a target for the arrow of their penis. So they can insert it and stab it inside the vagina, not in the chest. This is a book. This is the start. This is the introduction for the book. Oh people, go F as you wish from the beautiful women, and spend your life eating, drinking, and effing, and ejaculating. Good for you. The one who made love of girls more than love of boys. Between dancing and fun and playing with the vagina. I mean, shall I continue? Shall I continue? He described how you lift the legs of the women. He described how she put her legs around your neck. He described, I mean, I can just do this. I don't think Google can translate, you know, perfectly, but we can try. Look, Google translate the ass as a chicken. Stab the chicken. He made the ur here is penises, like a spear to stab their vagina and their asses. This is the book of God. You kiss her, you lift her leg, you kiss her cheek, and you rub her breast with your private part, and then you suck her lips, and you start your massage. This is the book of God. This is a man who is explaining to the Muslims the gift of Allah to them, one of their highest scholars. Look at this. The buttocks, like a deer. The women buttocks like a deer. Anyway, see, this is how, so now anyone who entered this chat, he will hear like, what the heck? I mean, what kind of language in this channel is? And you are right, what kind of language is language? This is disgusting. But my friend, this is Islam. So when you see a fraud like this coming to school us about speaking good, we are laughing. You are following a man, his name is Muhammad, and this is his religion. You see, if a Christian, he preached the gospel, the Muslims in Saudi Arabia, they will go after him, they will burn his house, they will kill him, they will kill his family. But those scholars who wrote those books, nobody get upset from them. Did this guy get killed for this book? No, you praise him. His book is taught everywhere. You can go to any Islamic university, including Saudi Arabia, and you will find that all his books are there. Anyone is upset? But there will be, why they will be upset? Their prophet is no better. What about a prophet? He say that the one who go to heaven, his penis will never go limp. His penis will never go limp. What about a prophet? He says when you F a woman in the heaven, you will do dahman dahman. I cannot explain to you dahman dahman, but to make it, I will make the sound of it, hitting two hands together. This is dahman dahman. And yet, those people, they are going to school us about manner. Or what about a God who described to us the vagina of the women in the heaven? That her vagina never been used. And no genie, neither man, did. I'm not going to use the F word, but this is what it says. This is God. Which language is that language? Which God is the God who used such a language? and what the promise, this promise is. So this is our problem with Muslims and Islam, and even with the Christians, because we quote a filthy cult, it's called Islam. People, they get upset from us. But the purpose of this video this guy is making is just to slander David Wood, so you as a Christian, you will not listen to him. He's a bad person. Did you hear he said the word penis? Oh yeah, David Wood, he said that. But he is quoting what your prophet did. Did you hear he said the word vagina? Oh yeah, he did that. But he is quoting what your prophet said. So your prophet, he can say it, he can. Muhammad, if Muhammad say that, it's okay.
Individual.
No man of God would ever speak in such a vulgar fashion. Based on the authority of Dr. Qadi, we can now conclude that Muhammad and his companions were not men of God. Dr. Qadi is aware of the hadiths where Muhammad ordered his followers to tell certain people to go and bite their fathers' penises. There's a good discussion of this on the Muslim website, Islam Q&A. I'll link to the article in the description box. It was narrated from Ubay ibn Ka'b that a man boasted in an ignorant manner of his tribal lineage, so he told him to bite his father's male member, and he did not use a metaphor. The people looked askance at him, so he said to the people, I can see what you are thinking, and I can only say this, that the messenger of Allah, yada yada yada, instructed us, if you hear someone boasting in an ignorant manner of his tribal lineage, then tell him to bite his father's male member and do not use a metaphor. Now, can you imagine Dr. Qadi's reaction if he started telling us about Muhammad and we responded, if you like Muhammad so much, why don't you go and bite his penis? How would he react? These men cannot be from God. They're disgusting, they're filthy, they're depraved, they're degenerates. But Ubay ibn Ka'b told people to go bite their fathers' penises because Muhammad ordered him to use this vulgar language. Dr. Qadi's response?
You know, when Muhammad, he said, A'idduhu bihinni abi, he's not only saying, go and tell him to bite his father's penis. That's not really what it just means. Because you have to go beyond the statement. When somebody, those Arab, you know, they have history of sexuality. If you have my book, Sex and Allah, you will find tons of information you never heard of. So those Arab, they have a history. They have different kind of marriages. They have different kind of relationship. Men, they sleep with men. Men, they sleep with women. Men, they sleep with boys. Men, they sleep with animals. Their lifestyle is very sexual. So, bite the penis of your father. It's coming from where? What Muhammad, he meant by that? Is the guy really is going to go and bite the penis of his father? Is that exactly physically what would happen? Some, they say that when someone wanna, let us say, subdued someone, he make him bite it. Not literally bite it by biting with teeth, but put it there. Is a way of subdued. So if you are really proud about your father, go and be subdued and bite your father. Literally, do it. Let us see it, as long as you are so proud about him. Because this is what Muhammad culture is about. This is the standard of his language. This is the normal language. He is not being rude. He is not being bad. This is how he speaks. He's a savage, and people around him are savage like him, and they speak this language of savage. So what you expect from a savage prophet to say? You see, while Jesus was saying, the one who cursed you, forgive him. The guy, he did nothing. He just said, I am proud about my family. What's wrong with that? No, for Muhammad, you cannot be proud about your family unless they are Muslims. You see how savage he is? Your family have no value because they are not Muslims. If they are Muslim, it's fine. Anyone he is proud about his family, who they exist in the pre-Islamic religion, go and tell him, bite the penis of your father. If you are a person who know philosophy or logic, maybe you can think about it and say, what does that mean exactly? What is the purpose of saying to a man, go and bite the penis of your father? What is the accomplishment? Did Muhammad correct him? Did Muhammad say this is wrong? No. He's just insulting, saying, go and do such a thing, which is very stupid to say.
Alhamdulillah! Muhammad is the perfect example for all mankind. In the History of At-Tabari, volume 8, page 76, Abu Bakr says to a pagan, go suck the clitoris of Allat. Allat was the goddess this pagan believed in and worshipped. So Abu Bakr, the first of the rightly guided caliphs, told a pagan in the presence of Muhammad to go perform oral sex on his goddess. Can you imagine Dr. Qadi's reaction if he went to my channel and found a video of me telling him to go perform oral sex on Allah? Telling a pagan to go suck Allah's clitoris would be like me telling Yasir Qadi to go lick Allah's balls.
No, this is not true. Allah, he don't have balls, he have a shin. But here, notice carefully, this is a proof that the Muslims are pagan the same as the pagan. Why? Because the one who they call him pagan, those Muslims who they are saying to him, go and suck the clitoris of the Lat, he himself worship Allah. You see, always people, they miss the point that those who they call them pagan, the Muslim they call them pagan, they are worshipping Allah too. The difference is, the Muslim, they want to worship Allah alone. The others, they want to worship Allah, and Allah have a companion, that is the assistance. So still they worship Allah. They believe Allah is Akbar, the biggest God. Allah is united, the moon God with the sun God. Allah and Akbar. Akbar is the sun God. Allah is the moon God. They have sex together. They have 3 daughters, Manat, Allat, Al-Uzza. Those daughters have a clitoris. One of them was the black stone, which is in the shape of a vagina. And when this guy is saying, go and suck the clitoris or of the Allat, he is talking simply about sucking those stones who they have a clitoris inside them. But this is the language of those people, and this is the companion, and later he became a Khalifa. Did Muhammad say to him, shame on you to speak such a way? No. Muhammad himself, he says, suck the penis. So what we see, a bunch of rude, savage people, they speak about sucking, licking, biting, vagina and penises. And yet, the second you quote them, they will call you names. They say you are filthy.
What would he say about me?
He's a vulgar, obscene, evil jerk. I mean, honestly, there's nothing else to be said.
But it's the first of the rightly guided caliphs using this kind of disgusting language, not me. How would Yasir Qadi react to Abu Bakr telling a pagan to go suck Allah's clitoris? Alhamdulillah! Now we can see why the Prophet subhanahu wa ta'ala loved Abu Bakr so much and wanted to deflower his prepubescent daughter. It's because of Abu Bakr's perfect manners. Since we're not hypocrites, we can't let Sheikh Yasir Qadi change the rules.
Talking about manner, as long David and Yasir Qadi, they mentioned the word manner. Shall we learn some manner? This is Yasir Qadi telling us the story about how he's a prophet. He slept with the maid. The maid who have no right to sleep with her, according to Islam. According to Islam, Muhammad, he been given permission to have sex with the following. There are 3 categories. His wives, his slaves from war, prisoners of war, he raped them, and women she offer herself, and those are free women. Mary the Copt, she is neither of those. She is a slave been given to him as a gift from Egypt. Yasir Qadi is going to teach you good manner. What do you do when your wife is not home?
This story, and once again, so with Maria, there's all of these mini stories that are problematic from one perspective, and this is also one of them. And again, I reiterated, it's better you hear it from me than from others. And also, this is in the Quran, so you can't really, like, this is a verse in the Quran. It is.
You better hear it from me, better hear it from them. Who? Them, us. Hear it from him. What happened, Yasir Qadi? There's a hole in the prophet. There's a hole in the manner. The wife is not home. What the prophet he do?
Reported in Tabari that, and many other books of tafsir, that one day Hafsa went away and she was not going to be at home, and so the Prophet called Maria to the house of Hafsa, and it so happened that Hafsa returned earlier than she was supposed to, and she saw Maria leaving her house.
Leaving? He saw her having sex, you liar. What, leaving the house? And she said to him, Fi bayti wa ala sariri, in my house and in my bed, you filthy prophet? No, for sure she did not say the word filthy, this is my words. But she said to him, what is meaning that? In my house, in my bed, you scumbag?
So she became extremely enraged, and she became irritated with the Prophet ﷺ, and she said that, Ya Rasulullah, is that how much, how do I translate this, respect you have for me, or is that what you think of me, in my house and on my day?
In my house, in my day, in my bed. Why you are not quoting correctly? In my bed. Imagine, guys, the manner, those who speak about foul language, bad language, what kind of manner a prophet of God, he called the maid, he noticed that the wife is not home. He called the maid, he said, hey, go to the bedroom, take off your clothes. The wife, she come back. She find him doing boom boom. She scream at him. In my house, in my bed, you filthy idiot coward. And what Muhammad he did? He promised her to make her father caliphate. And he told her, keep what happened between us, okay? Just keep it between us. We don't want people to know, okay? Why? Because it's a shameful thing. He's a fraud.
And so the Prophet ﷺ continued to placate her and calm her down, and she basically was very emotional, and until eventually she made the Prophet ﷺ promise to never ever see Maria again. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I have made her haram for myself.
Yeah, because he's afraid from her family. He need them. He's afraid, the coward. And later, when he noticed that there's no risk in that, he changed his mind. He made a verse. If you go to chapter of At-Tahrim, verse number 1, it says that Allah, he said to him, why you are forbidden for you what is made lawful for you? Show me the verse in the Quran. It says made lawful for Muhammad to have sex with a maid. Nowhere. The Quran says you can have sex with your wife, with prisoner of war, or a woman she offer herself to the Prophet. Slave who is a maid, you cannot have sex with her. But because Muhammad, he is God, he make verses as he wish. And now you will see, I don't know if you will say that or not, he convinced her not to tell anyone. Keep it between us.
Okay, khalas, I give up. Basically, Maria is haram for me. I will never see Maria. I swear to Allah, by Allah, I'm never going to see Maria again. And
did he say, I swear by Allah? So a prophet of God, he swear by Allah, he will not see Maria again, and then he came and he slept with her again. Do you see how decent he is? He swear by Allah, he will never have sex with her again. Not to see her. Sex, what see her? I mean, they don't even have decency to say things as it is. Are you ashamed to say to have sex with her? You just said that. And then he told the women, his wife, don't tell anyone, okay? Keep it between us.
He told Hafsa, he made Hafsa basically keep this between the two of them, and he said, do not tell Aisha.
He's afraid that Aisha, she will find out that he is a fraud having sex with the maid too. I mean, this is how savage, this is how trashy this man is. And you are talking about David for his quoting your prophet? Go, David.
Rules whenever it's convenient for his religion. According to Sheikh Yasir Qadi, anyone who uses the sort of language I use cannot be a man of God. But Muhammad and his...
Hey, David, do you have a maid at home? I don't know. Do you have a maid? I know you are not rich, but maybe you should think about having a maid. And then you can sleep with the maid. And then Yasir Qadi will speak about your good manner. You're a good guy. You sleep with the maid. What's wrong with that? Like, hello? Learn the good manner of the good prophet. David, I'm so upset from you.
companions used language that's far more disgusting than anything I would say. Hence, Muhammad and his companions were not men of God. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. But Dr. Qadi isn't done. He's going to lecture us about Jesus and Christianity, which is odd because Dr. Qadi only allows academics in the field of...
Let us stop here. I think we have enough. But I want the Christians from now on not to call Yasir Qadi by his name. He have a new name. It's called Holes in the Narrative. Mr. Holes?
That the standard narrative, that the standard narrative,
Boy.
that the standard narrative
You'll finish.
has holes, has holes, that the standard narrative, that the standard narrative,
Boy.
that the standard narrative
You'll finish.
has holes, has holes. This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on? What is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out. You don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward, get very, very...
When you go deep dive, this is when things go really awkward. That is the truth. When you do deep dive, you will see the sewage. Islam is like a grave covered by white marble, or they try to cover it by white marble. But inside the grave is a grave. It is dark. It is a grave. The smell of death. So I say to the Muslims, your slander will not work. First of all, neither any of us claim to be, we don't claim to be angels or claim to be a priest. David Wood is not a priest. I'm not a priest. He's not a bishop. We are just normal people like everybody. And the language we use have nothing to do with the Christianity. We use it because we are reading your books. Everything I said today is written in your book. Otherwise, we don't use such a language. So they cannot refute us, they cannot answer us, they cannot make a response for what they say. They are the one who said there's a hole in the narrative, and now obviously there's a hole in their brain. They are bleeding and they cannot stop the bleeding. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to download the video as soon as it is ready to download, because I don't keep those videos for long in my page. Maybe in 2 or 3 hours from now we will take it down. But you can always search for the same title. People, they download it, they post it in their pages, so you can see it and you can watch it again and you can take all the reference we mentioned. And I apologize for disabling the chat because, people, they start saying filthy language, or especially the topic is filthy. We don't know who's coming to this chat. There's Muslims who come using Christian names to make us look bad. And as you say, they speak too much about good manner, but they don't have it. A woman in the Middle East, she cannot walk without guardian. Did you ask yourself why a woman should need a guardian in the Middle East? If those are people of manner, and Islam make us better people, why a woman in the street, she walk alone, she is not safe? If everybody is a person of manner, If everybody is a believer in Allah, if everybody dress white, pray 5 times a day, and he grow a beard, if everybody call for Allah, Allahu Akbar, if everybody wanna go after the Jews and the Christians, so how come a woman, she is not safe to walk alone in the street? That is the truth about Islam. They speak something, they speak too much about good, but I never saw it. Even this guy, he mentioned that Jesus said that from their fruit you shall know them. Well, how stupid you are even to speak about that. You just showed us the fruit of your prophet sleeping with his maid. Is that the fruit of a prophet of God? When David, he commits sin in the Bible, God, he condemned David, and David asked God for forgiveness. If you go to 2 Samuel. In Islam, God, he praised Muhammad, even his name is the praised one. For what? Sleeping with the servant, cheating in his wives, flirting with his own son, wife, when the husband is not there, and God knows what else. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to subscribe to our Patreon, and you can read my books. You can find them in Amazon.com if you like to have some. We have them in many languages. Until we see you soon again, Christ is Lord, Islam is false, and yes, there is a hole in the narrative.